Good morning, nation. Yeah, there's that music in. It's time to get up. It is time to get your ass out of bed with the only morning show in North America that works to get you going in the morning. 8 o'clock Eastern time. It is August 1st and just around the corner, September 1st. Coming up on the show today, we're going to get to know Christopher Martin. We're going to get to know C Marty Fit, the guy that sits on the opposite side of the counter here on the show. I'm surprising the boys on a couple topics this morning. Hey, gentlemen, do you ever wonder if breaking the seal is a thing? Well, hey, we're talking about breaking the seal this morning in the lab. I know that's a topic relevant to our audience, and I know it's a topic relevant to John Anderson. We're talking, is breaking the seal really a thing, or is it just all in our heads? Also coming up, gentlemen, the power and magic of creatine. Arnold Schwarzenegger published something yesterday. We're going to talk about that in a few moments today as well. And of course, getting into the conversation with our good friend, the fellow across the board, Mr. Christopher Martin. There he is over there.
What up? What up?
And of course, we would be remiss if we did not announce our other friend, Mr. John Anderson. There he is today. John forgot the other half of his t-shirts this morning, so we are in tank top Thursdays today. So Marty and I missed the memo, so we will have to make sure we coordinate our shirt styles for the rest.
Showing a little skin today. That's what it is.
I love
some skin to the action. If you want to know the truth, I was having a hard time logging in. Normally I get logged in, then I change my shirt, but I was here like right on the money. I had no time to change the shirt. So you're getting the shoulders today.
I love it. There you go. And of course, gentlemen, we would be remiss if we did not welcome in the future. Oh, good morning, Enzo. I was going to bed last night thinking about you. I was going, because I was talking to somebody at my house last night, the little activity happening in the backyard, and I was showing her some clips, and I was like, hey, I got a guy in the future. It's actually already August in his world. So, Enzo, anything we should know about here in North America that's coming our way? Well, we'll wait for your response here in the dropouts there. But I'm eager to ask this question, Marty, of John. So, John, yesterday you told us as we were leaving the show, you were off to go do some paddleboarding yesterday evening over on the lake. So yeah. I got to ask, did you pull the plywood out? Did you get on the board, or how did that work out for you?
So interestingly enough, that date with my wife and I is actually getting postponed till 10 o'clock this morning because yesterday we were just doing there was a few final touches in terms of the ordering for the studio. So we need to get that out of the way. So she's like really meticulous. So she had to finish, and I got to support her when she does a job, when she's going all the way. So
yeah. Who's leading that project, John? Are you leading that project, or is Terry leading the project?
You know, when it comes to interior design, she is like amazing. So all I got to do is say something like studio, cigar lounge, walk away. And then she understands I want a studio and I want it to have a kind of cigar lounge vibe. And then that's all I got to say.
Terry's your AI.
Yeah.
Terry's my a lot of things, you know.
Hey, Marty, I was fortunate to quickly meet Terry for a few minutes yesterday, and I agree with you, Marty. Yes.
I believe it. I can see it.
She's like a 5'2" version of me. You know?
Oh. Yeah,
that's probably hilarious.
I'm sure it is. Good morning, Walter. Thank you for joining us this morning in the lab here. Good to see you on the screen. And of course, we have our friend Enzo. Enzo's telling us we're going to win the Olympics. Awesome. I was hoping that. So, Enzo, is that because we're going to be cheating our way to the Olympics, or is that just going to be a legitimate way of winning the Olympics today? But of course, go, Marty.
Canada will cheat. That's why.
Yes, there you go.
As we learned last week or earlier this week.
Oh, gentlemen, I was having my morning coffee this morning, and we all know that we like to, just sit around a table and banter for a few moments about what's happening that I read here this morning. And I'm going to talk about for you guys, gentlemen, what it means when we can't hold our pee. We talk about breaking the seal, that whole aspect of breaking the seal. I want to bring that up here in a few moments. And is it a scientific thing, or does it actually happen in our heads? Do you guys ever wonder that?
I'll tell you, when I think of breaking the seal, I think this. Once I start, I have a hell of a time getting the brakes on hard enough to get the stream stopped. So if that's what we're referencing. That's a challenge. Now, granted, at 52, the brakes don't work as well as it did when I was 25. So
We're, we are going to talk. We're going to
I think you're just a punk.
Go ahead, Marty.
I think you're just a punk. No, I'm playing.
That's exactly it. We're going to talk about breaking the seal in a few moments here and what that actually means. Because men, you're tuning in, you're like, yeah, breaking the seal is a problem for me. Well, there's actually some reality behind this whole situation. Marty, how was your day yesterday, pal? I saw you did a Costco run for water.
I did. It was a good day. It was a good day. Yeah, I told you I got some new content on the way, but no, it was just a good day. My show was good yesterday.
Nice.
And yeah, that's about it. Had a good workout, cardio, stretch. Did you see my box jump?
I did not see your box jump. No, I missed the box jump. Oh,
I got a 54-inch box jump.
Oh, the boy,
brother.
Wow.
Check this out. You know, when in my strength career, we used to do a lot of that stuff. And I actually had 305 pounds went onto a 54 box.
Dude.
With no run.
54. Yeah, I used to be able to do it vertical, but I'm working my way back to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be back to vertical soon. But yeah, I got to get back on my athleticism.
That's massive.
Awesome.
That's explosive stuff, brother.
That's so 54. I'm 42 inches tall. So holy smokes, you're like 13 inches taller than I am, man, in that jump. Enzo's so yes, Enzo, Canada will win the cheating scandal as champions, and USA will win the entire Olympics. So there you go, absolutely. And Enzo's okay. You can't lie. You fell asleep. That's all right, man. We don't expect you to hang around every single show. There's almost every single show. So, hey, waking up with C Marty Fit and John Anderson here a few minutes after the top of the hour here. Coming up, we're going to get to know Christopher Martin, a.k.a. Slim Shady. Chris is like, what?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know. Is it because I wear shades? Is that why?
That's it. A.k.a. C Marty Fit, Christopher Martin coming up in a few moments here. We're also going to talk about breaking the seal. We have is it Masaki, right? Masaki joining us. Was it Masaki, gentlemen, or Mashaki from yesterday? I know that
I don't remember an H.
I thought it was Mashaki.
Mashaki, yeah. So, hey, thank you for joining us. And were they in Australia or Thailand yesterday? Is that where it was? I think they were on the other side of the planet. I think they were in the future as well. So, but anyways, we're asking the questions. If they're paying attention, they're going to join in here in a moment. But
Pakistan.
Is that where it was? I think it was somewhere over in the.
I thought it was Pakistan.
Yeah. So listen, Mornings in the Lab, the only global show that gets everybody going up in the morning, even though it's halfway around the world and it's an evening and nighttime and everywhere else in the world here. So there we go. Oh yeah, and Jimmy's coming in with Masaki Higashi. So thank you,
Masaki. Yeah,
that's it.
There was no H. Okay, there we go.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's it. It's the John. Yeah, it's exactly it. Hey, so gents, Johnny, you and I grew up in the Arnold Schwarzenegger era, and I know that you know he's sporting the same wisdom we're sporting on our face these days, and you know Arnie's the legend in the gym, and Arnie's the legend to a lot of men growing up today. We also grew up, John, in an era where creatine was thrown out at us, and I was like, hey, take creatine. Then we went through a period of, is creatine good for us? Is it bad for us? What's the point of creatine? Now Schwartz is back on the table saying, hey, there's lots of benefits to creatine. And one of the big ones he's talking about is that it aids in cognitive decline and it rejuvenates the aging brain. Comments on that, John and Marty, before I get into some of the comments that Arnold Schwarzenegger published yesterday.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, creatine now has become, that's number one, it's cheap. Used to be expensive. And in the beginning, you actually took days to load. So it was like a painful, long process. Now it's cheap. It loads instantly. And there's no question that there's some, just this function. It's going to carry water into the muscle. There's some benefit to that. There's no question about it.
Hey, Marty, are you a creatine guy? Have you been, so I know, because I'm asking because of the generational thing. And this is what fascinates me, right? Because fitness and nutrition, we go through generational phases. So, Marty, has creatine been part of your life or as an athlete or not?
Daily. Creatine daily. That's, and it's like, honestly, I think creatine is like a cheat code. I can't believe it's legal because my energy's up, building muscle, my body's changing. I feel stronger, and we get creatine from food as well. So it's not like a lot of people think it's like some banned substance, and they're like, "Oh yeah, do you take creatine?" I'm like, "Yeah, I take creatine." A lot of people don't really know the benefits of it, but it's been heavily researched, and it's probably the best supplement that you can take on your muscle building journey.
Well, and Schwarzenegger says that a recent meta-analysis of 8 studies revealed that creatine keeps memory strong, especially as we age. And Masaki, gentlemen, joins us from Japan. We got T Nutty joining us from Virginia this morning. Happy to see you here. And T Nutty is dropping us with some pistachios along the way as well. So we'll leave that off the table. But
oh my God,
back to creatine, John, looking at you because we're the old guys on the show. But so creatine decline, cognitive decline, John, a real part of aging, but it doesn't have to be as challenging as you might assume. And these meta-analysis talk about that daily supplementation, Anderson, led to improvements in short-term memory, long-term memory, and working memory. And get this, gentlemen, creatine helps your brain most when it's metabolically stressed, whether from sleep deprivation, travel, or aging. And John, you brought this word up. And when it's overloaded, the additional creatine can help your brain function as it wants rather than how it's forced to perform under great demands. And then one last thing, gentlemen, before I open up to you guys for comments. What was interesting about the study, John, Marty, was that unlike other research on creatine and cognition, higher doses did not lead to greater memory benefits. Earlier research suggested that 10 grams of creatine, John, instead of 3 to 5, provides more brain benefits. This study found that 5 was enough to sharpen memory. And I guess one last comment. If you want to try it, opt for creatine monohydrate and get a third-party certified supplement, Moment, and then they gave some recommendations on the creatine. So, gentlemen, anything about that jumps out new to you, surprising to you, or is it just reaffirming what you both already knew and the benefits of that? And I look to both of you guys because you are our resident fitness athlete experts here on the show. To you, John Anderson, first of all, comments on that?
Yeah, well, I think in creatine is a perfect example. As we start to understand more about how the body works and how creatine affects the body, we're always discovering new things. So the fact that we're finding more positive things about creatine is great. But what really people need to focus on is that, okay, we know there's benefits. We know there's more benefits we're discovering, but it's cheap and there's no negative side effect. So it's a safe step. That's what you got to focus on. The benefits that are listed here, maybe you get a little, maybe you get a lot. There's no risk and it's cheap. So why would you not do it?
Yeah, there you go. Marty, multiple studies so far have confirmed or gave us huge ideas that creatine is neuroprotective. It protects the integrity of your central nervous system, making your nervous system healthier for longer, which means you're probably more intelligent for longer in your life. And John, you met Lauren yesterday for a couple minutes, and Marty, you spent some time with Lauren a few days ago. So I know that there's something happening in science when my lovely bride knocks on my door and she says, "This gentleman, hey baby," I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Should we get some creatine back in the house?" I'm like, "Oh, did some science weave itself back into your life, my dear?" Because
she definitely read something.
You're right, Marty. Yes, because you've gotten to know her, and John, as you get to know her,
exactly. I know her, so she definitely read something.
Yes, and John, she's that one single ingredient person, right? So she's as neurotic as you are, keeping us honest with things. So when I see her going to go creatine, I'm like, "Oh, have you been talking to Marty or John lately?" Because yes, there's something going on there. But hey, guys, Fit Presenter pops in with Arnold gets the good creatine. Sure, no question about that. Don't count on the OTC powder to keep your brain working. Sorry to be a hater. And Marty and John, there's probably some truth to that, right? We know there's lots of supplements with lots of filler. I'll look to you, Anderson, because you got a little more experience than all of us here on the table. When you're buying the creatine, what are you looking for in the ingredients?
Well, I think the first thing is you got to make sure that you're going to a reputable source. The next thing is you're just looking for straight creatine. A lot of times there's these companies that make it's this creatine blend and proprietary this and proprietary that, and all they're doing is they're basically making it look really, really great when all they've done is dilute the creatine with a bunch of stuff that really doesn't matter. So I think the key is reputable company and make sure you're just buying straight creatine. But on that level, quick, I'm making this nice and tight. Yeah. But the thing you got to remember is that creatine is something that that you use to be on top of taking care of yourself already. Your hydration, your good food. If you're not drinking water, you're not eating right, this stuff's not going to make much of a change for you. It's part of the arsenal. So you got to get the other members of the army cracking, put this in there. It's going to make a big difference.
Marty, I love the word proprietary in fitness, Proprietary formulas.
I know.
Yeah, they say it on all the supplements now.
Oh man, the marketers. If you want to see a lesson in marketing and branding, just go spend time in fitness stores, man, and look at the branding and the packaging and how it changes and the graphics. And it's like going to yeah. That's exactly. Speaking of fitness, gentlemen, I don't want to digress, but I'm going to put a topic on the table in the coming weeks, especially for you, Anderson, especially for you, Marty. We have had a lot of traction, Marty, on the topic around the over-sexualization of the gym and the negative impacts on that. And just there's a lot of opinions on this. And I know we dropped a short a couple weeks ago and it's just taken off like fire. So I'm going to use that data. We're going to put that on the table. And the gentlemen, we're going to talk more about that in the coming week or so, about the over-sexualization, how it's making you feel uncomfortable walking into the gym where we're just going to lift weights instead of get picked up. So we're going to talk about that in a couple weeks.
You gotta let me share some links.
Yes. And then I'm going to put you boys on the show. On the table, I'm going to put some funny video content in front of you guys and say, "Hey, what do you guys think of this workout?" Marty, we're going to take your segment to another level.
Let's do it.
James says, "Yes, the man on top is the stud. John Anderson is absolutely the rock star stud here on the show." And wow, blada blada, can we help you? Oh yeah, we can help you. Sure, come knock on my door. Come knock on Marty's door. Come knock on John's door. We'll come get you helped out. T Natty, we are the guys from No Pain or No Gain. It's exactly how we roll here. Yeah, we have a show. Our purpose is to help you get your ass out of bed and get yourself going in the morning. That's why we rock and roll here. And yes, so I'm going to keep taking, gentlemen, I'm going to keep showing this because I got people knocking on my door. I was waiting for that.
Nope.
People thinking.
Wait. Was that a button?
That's a button.
What is it? Do it again.
Nope.
Is that me?
No.
What does that sound? I can't hear what it is.
It says nope. N-O-P-E. Nope.
I heard that, but it just sounded like kind of a rough voice. I thought, shit, did they put me on one of these buttons?
You know what?
See, that's I want my own button with my own voice. That would be really cool.
I'll make one for you today. I got you.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
You are the one who makes the buttons that have been waiting all this time.
Well, I don't know what you say all the time. So for me to just make a random John button, it has to fit your personality and something you say all the time. I can't just get a random John button. It has to resonate with the audience. It's a science to it, John.
Well, but you can give me the button and at least I have the button. Maybe we don't attach something to it yet. I just need my button.
Oh my God.
We'll get John we got to get John a Stream Deck. We got to get John a Stream Deck so he can use the buttons.
We are debating about buttons here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, C Marty Fit, and John Anderson. And Enzo jumps in from the future, bringing in everyone I know that goes to uses creatine, cheap and easy to access, and hell of a promotion for creators, which hooks customers. Yes, this is true. And of course, I'm going to drop this up here. Nation, if you're tuning in here on any of our streams, if you're on John's stream, Marty's stream, any stream you're accessing the show, I invite you, subscribe to Mornings in the Lab channel, like the channel, share it with your friends, tell the world that you're tuning into the greatest motivational, get your ass out of bed experience in the morning. Michael Hawkins jumping in with 100%. Good morning, Michael. Thanks for joining in, brother.
What up, Mike?
There's Mike, and yes, I know that Marty likes to drop this topic on the show in the evening on one of the greatest fitness podcasts, Less Brunches, More Crunch.
The best.
Coming from C Marty Fit. And D Wee's coming with some shoulders this morning.
What up, D Wee's?
And of course, John, what's your favorite saying? Yes, that's where we're gonna have to figure that one out here in the coming days of weeks. What's gonna be dropping from John?
I got too many. There's too many of them, man.
What up, Joe?
What's going on, Joe? Good to see you more this morning on the show, my friend. Good to have you here. We're talking creatine. We're talking fun stuff. We're coming up with so Jimmy's saying not one more. Oh, so Jimmy's calling me out as Hugh Jackman. I'll take Hugh Jackman. I'll take that comment here, gentlemen. I'll go with that one. Hey, Fit Presenter's coming in with who remembers the ICO Pro? Remember that, Johnny? Do you remember that one?
I'm having a brain fart right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I remember that brand. Marty, do you remember that brand?
If y'all don't remember it.
He wasn't born yet. He was.
If y'all don't remember it 20 years ago,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't remember it when I was 10. Sorry.
That's like asking Marty.
I wasn't lifting weights when I was 10.
It's like asking Marty about Dukes of Hazzard or chips. He's not going to remember that stuff.
Oh, gentlemen, Tech Dad's joining us. Good morning, Will. Haven't seen you for a while, pal. Glad to have you in on the show this morning.
What up, Will?
Always love our friend
Will.
Will.
What's up, brother?
Always enjoy having Will on the show here. And yes, Will, we are going to get the man a bucket. That is the plan here, of course, in the show here. Coming up in a number of moments, we're going to get to know Christopher Martin. So if you're dropping in the show right now and you're wondering who's the handsome guy on the bottom of the screen, well, it's actually me. So that's me down there at the bottom of the screen.
That Mark Wahlberg comic is getting to your head.
Oh man, Christopher Martin, who is C Marty Fit? We're going to get into. John's going to interview Chris in a couple moments here, but gentlemen, I want to Enzo. Yes, we're going to need the 64 button stream deck for John. We're going to have to get Marty. We're going to have to get John like 2 64 button stream decks, I think.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
John's like, what are they talking about?
I have
John,
no idea. Listen, keep it simple. I just need one button. One button right here where it's easy to get to. Don't give me 64. That's far too complex. I just need one.
Gentlemen. So, hey, boys, and anybody tuning in right now, gentlemen, if you're listening to the show right now, I want your ears to perk up. What does it mean when you go, why can't we stop peeing after we go peeing once? And is there actually a thing called breaking the seal? Now, gents, if you spend any time drinking lots of water, drinking any beer, or so forth, you're saying to yourself, oh my God, I'm sitting with my boys right now, we're having a good conversation, and I know if I run to the bathroom right now, I've broken the seal, and I'm going to go back time and time again. So what do, guys? We hold it. We sit back and we hold it. We cross our legs, we dance in the chair. And then the question is that healthy or not? So, gentlemen, Marty, Johnny, do you struggle with breaking the seal, and is that a thing to you guys?
Oh, man, I'll tell you. And now that it's explained like that, man, I take a leak whenever I got to go. You're not finding me hold anything, you know?
Yes.
And so, I mean, there's times where I have to do it and I tough it out, but why? I mean, goodness gracious, there's toilets all around, you know? I mean, why sit there and cross your legs when you don't have to?
Marty?
Nah, I just go.
There we go. That's it.
So is there any scientific evidence to support the concept of breaking the seal? Or is it merely a myth that we've all come to believe is truth? So on the other hand, when we're drinking lots of output, you're going to have increased urine output, right? So, and then especially if we're drinking alcohol, is a diuretic. But here's the thing, guys. For men, the bladder can hold approximately 23 fluid ounces of urine. 23. Yet, it only takes about 7 before the brain says, oh, Johnny, it's time to get up and run to the bathroom. So you think about that. You got a 16-ounce delta, and a pint of beer is 16 ounces. So the reality is, gents, it's not so much that we're breaking the seal. Guys, the cup is full. So if your body's telling you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go to the bathroom. Don't try to hold it. And if you hold it, you might end up having... That's exactly it. You know, there's a doctor here quoted in the article that says that a patient, John, did permanent damage to their bladder after holding their pee for hours following a night of excessive drinking. Because it puts...
Really?
Yes, it puts excessive... I'm looking for the word here. It puts excessive pressure on the on your prostate, right? So as it's doing that, and you're holding it, it's not helping you. So really, what you want to do, gents, is go for a pee.
Well, now that you say that, you know, there's been a few times like in the car where I'm holding it, and then I finally, like, usually when we go somewhere, Terry drives, and I'm talking, honey, you listen. Forget the gas station, get the next exit. I'm going to pee in my pants in the car. I'm going to pee standing outside the car. And it's so bad. I stand up and I can't go. It's like, it's been in there too long. Almost like you're saying it did something like the brakes that are holding that thing from leaking in my pants. I can't take it off. I shouldn't say
that's
I can't.
Actually a thing. No, but that's actually a thing. You're talking about actually a thing. Wow. And I know when we talk, because we're the ancient guys, gents in your 30s and 40s, you're going to be Keith and John one day. So we're just telling you what's coming, Johnny.
But we need to stricken the word can't. I can't was a slip in my mind. It's not that I couldn't. I was challenged to pee. And the first time this happens, it's a little weird because you're standing there. And for me, when I stand up, I got to go even worse. And all of a sudden it's time to go and nothing. Once it starts, it'll start speeding up. But like getting that first drip is quite a interesting ordeal when you go through that for the first time.
James Lee's joining us here in the lab here this morning. Good morning, James. Thanks for jumping onto the show this morning. And Uday's jumping in. Uday, you want John to suggest a 6-day workout split? Well, we got some ideas coming up for you in the next few days. You can find John on his Instagram page and his YouTube channel. Go knock on his door, but we got some stuff coming for you guys out of the Business Athlete Performance Lab that we can share with you guys in the coming weeks and days around how we can put together a 6-day split for you. We're talking going for a pee. Gents, I'm going to make a confession here on the air. So there's times when I have to go for a pee if I'm out and about, especially in the car, or if I'm running, Marty, out just outside there going for a walk, I just stop and pee. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to hold it. I'm going to discreetly pull the car over and just kind of duck in behind the car door there or duck in behind the tire. And John, I think you know the trick, right? You just kind of stand around and just innocently look around and just go for a pee.
Yeah, this is it. First off, when you say out a confession, I was waiting for a little more than peeing somewhere. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I didn't know where you were going with that.
And then here, if you're going to do it, here's the thing.
Yes.
You know, it's in this, you can do this when you're peeing somewhere weird. You can even do it in a public bathroom when someone walks in on you. So you're basically going to the bathroom and someone can't help themselves to watch. And sometimes someone will basically walk in front of you or whatever. So here's what you do. You just gently look up at them and then they just flip out. Oh my God, I wasn't supposed to look at that. But you just gently look up, no look on the face, like, can I help you? And they're just, bam, you know, it's great.
Tips from the urinal with John Anderson. We had a show a couple weeks ago with tips from holding a towel on your waist with C Marty Fit, and today we've moved to tips from the urinal with John Anderson and tips for going for a pee in public. Gentlemen, I'm telling you, pull your car over to the shoulder of the road or pull your car over to a discreet spot in the parking lot. Open up your trunk, open up your car door, and just discreetly stand there as if you're looking around and just, you know, stand there and all of a sudden some water kind of accumulates on the ground. Then you get up, you get back into the car and you drive away. Nobody knows the better. And you're not having to do the dance in your pants. True story. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, there's your tip this morning, gents. Uday's coming in with, man, I held my pee for 12 freaking hours. Oh, dude, you can't hold your pee for 12 hours, man. That is
that's not safe.
Dude, have you guys ever peed in a cup before? I know when I climbed Kilimanjaro, I had to pee in like these water cups. You guys done that before?
Oh, I've peed in a lot of stuff. You know, that's always a challenge, you know, because the thing is you got to size up your container. You're going to say, is this thing big enough to get the whole lot out? Otherwise, I better start hitting the brakes about halfway through it.
Yes.
You know, but that's the biggest challenge, man. If that container's not going to hold it, you know, get ready to get some on your hands.
You know what challenge I had, Johnny and Marty, was that when I went and climbed Kilimanjaro, I had to take two Nathan bottles, I think, the big water bottles, right? So I had one for my pee bottle, and I had one that I had to drink water out of. Well, boys, yes, Marty, I absolutely taped up one of them so that in the middle of the night when I'm half asleep, I was able to hold it in my hand, John, and know that it was the pee bottle, not the drinking bottle. Right, because it was dark, and so it was more so like just through feel. So, you know, because you get up and this is, I appreciate your comments about knowing if you're going to fill the cup, right? Because if you're at the top, you're like, oh my God, there's still water inside of me. You're making a big ass mess. So that was a whole experience for me, right? Man,
that might have been quite a wake up. You know, taking a swig off the wrong bottle. Holy Toledo's.
Well, trust me, it was. Yes. Uday's coming in with, I was on a journey and the washroom was terrible, like it was stinky, so dirty. You need a guy like Royal Restrooms on our show here. We need David Sowers to bring out some of the safe stuff here. What do we got here? We got on the horizontal stream, guys. We got some comments coming up here. Of course, we got Enzo popping in with simple solution: find the nearest bush while drinking all night. Yes, that's a good one. Listen, as I've aged, man, I just discreetly go for a pee. If somebody wants to pull me over and say, "Hey, Bilous, you going for a pee?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm 50, man. I got to go for a pee."
You know, brother, I grew up in the country. So, when I would be out riding my bike, man, I might be 45 minutes to the closest toilet. So I'm used to peeing everywhere. I'm
with you, man. I'm with you. Just drop in the backyard, in the bush, in the grass. It is what it is, right? So,
yeah.
Enzo, yes, you got 35 years. You got lots of time in front of you, pal. We got also Mr. Fit for All Sports. Good morning, fella. Yes, C Marty Fit here in the lab. We're going to get to know Marty.
What's good, bro?
We're going to get to know Marty in a few minutes here. And what do we got here? We got what can Joe? Oh, there was a time I was in traffic. Yes, Joe, that's how you get it done, brother. When you're driving, you get the water bottle. You just do what you got to do. I love that. That's the right approach, my friend. That's absolutely the right approach. We are screwed. We are on the roller coaster of life. Keith and John are at that point in our life. All right, so listen, let's do this. Uday, how old are we all? Well, I'm ancient. John's even more ancient, and Marty's the little puppy on the show here. So I'm from Canada. Marty and John are from the States, but this show is global. And of course, we have Iman joining us. Good morning, Keith, Marty, and Sir John. Oh, John, you got the sir, man. Look at that. It's amazing to be here. Every day by day, I'm getting stronger and better. That's the power of this podcast. Yes, Inam! Dude, you are getting the vibe of the show. I appreciate that. That's absolutely it. So, gentlemen, let's do this. Jimmy, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pivot to the accountability check-in. John's going to step away and break the seal. I'm going to do the accountability check-in. And when we come back, Johnny, I'm going to put you on stage so you can sit back and ask a few questions of our friend C Marty Fit. Will I go in, interact with our friends in the comments, and we're going to have a good back and forth with C Marty Fit. How does that sound, guys?
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, so let's do this. Jimmy, we're going to go to the accountability check-in. This part of the show. John's leaving. Marty's leaving. And I am going to remind you guys this. That it is August 1st today, nation. And I'm telling you that not to date the show. No, not to date the show. I'm telling you that it's August 1st today because September 1st is right around the corner. And then it's going to be October, November, and then the year's going to be over. So here's the thing, business athlete nation. Are you committing to a new goal? Don't do it. Don't do it unless you're ready to go all the way. Because I'm going to tell you right now, as you're getting your day started on the #1 morning show on the planet, half-hearted efforts, half-assed efforts, they're not going to get you anywhere. So listen, I'm going to invite you. When you commit, you got to give it everything. Not 99, not 98, not even 110%. You do 110%, you're probably going to do 10% of it half-assed. Let's do 100% effort. Let's do 100% resilience. And let's give 100% heart. Because Success Nation, I know if you're tuning in right now, you know this, but I'm going to remind you. Success is not for the half-committed. Hell, it's for those like Marty who jump in fully and stick to it no matter what challenges pop up. So I got a suggestion, Nation, as you get on with your day right now. If you just want to test the waters, go do something else. Don't waste your time. Because your time, as you know, looking at John and myself, your time's limited. Your time's precious. So spend it on the things, Business Athlete Nation. Spend it on the things that you're willing to give your total commitment to. So let's bring it back to the top. If you're going to commit to a new goal here today, don't do it. Only do it if you're willing to go all in. That's your accountability check-in. We chop in every single day, sometimes around the 15-minute mark, sometimes the 30-minute mark. It's just that segment of our show to help you guys get your day going. Bringing John and Marty back up on stage here.
Yes, sir.
We are here. Tech Dad still hanging out with us, man. I appreciate you. Hope you're well, pal. Hope you're well. Hope you're well with your journey to keep doing great things, buddy. I got lots of props and respect for you. Uday, good to have you here. No, Uday, it's not over, man. We're just getting started. We are just getting started here. And we are going to pivot this point What do we got here? We got Enzo copping in with, yes, the difference in 3 months is crazy. You know, Enzo, I got to tell you, man, the fact that you've been around since day one, I'm excited to celebrate day 1,000, day 2,000, and day 10,000 because I know there's going to be a day when we launch Mornings in the Lab in New Zealand and Australia. Marty, Johnny, maybe we got a host over there for us already. Maybe we got a guy who's growing the show who can just sit back in and just take over for us. You know, when we rock and roll there in over down under here. So yes, Enzo, the show is growing. So Johnny, I'm gonna look at you, pal. Marty, I'm gonna look at you, pal. I'm gonna slide over into the comments. Get you boys up on stage. And Johnny, why don't you take some cracks at our friend Marty? Let's get to know Christopher Martin. I've sat down with Marty a few times. I got to know Martin live in the lab with Keith Bilous back late last year. And I'm eager to continue this discussion so that Business Athlete Nation, and even just referring back to what Enzo said, there's a lot of new people tuning in. So, John, let's get to know Christopher Martin. Chris, I'm putting you in the middle. I'm going to get off stage for a little bit, and you guys rock and roll. Boys.
Yep.
All right, Marty. So check this out. You know, you're D1 athlete. You're successful. And if you look at the percentage, very, very few people ever make it to that level of athletics. So usually when someone makes some sort of a climb or, makes a lot of progress in something, there is a why. Something that happened, some sort of inspiration. What was your why in your journey? Because there's a lot of people who have these big ideas of what they want to do, but the idea is not driven by a why. So what was your why?
I just felt like, because my life is made up of a lot of losses, a lot of L's. So I felt like there was always something bigger at the end, right? So if I'm not going to go back to high school, but I will say, like, coming out of high school, I was a top 100 player in the country, and just committing to college and going to college, I had some hiccups with that. I landed at Marshall, and I wasn't supposed to be there. So this is crazy. First week at Marshall, one of my teammates, another freshman, he chirped a lot, talked trash. I'm from the D.C. area. He was from a rival city area. And we'd always talk trash. So we end up taking it to the court, playing one-on-one. So, and he was 6'8", by the way. He was a taller player. I'm a shorter guy. I end up beating him, right? So this guy was just pissed. And the dude would barely say what's up to me after that. Barely have a conversation.
And this is also your roommate, correct?
This is my roommate. So I'm just, and it's going to make sense, when I tell this story. And so, we end up playing pickup games 5-on-5, and he got mad because someone scored on me, throws the ball at my face. So I walk up to him, I punch him in the face. They break the fight up, and I've been in multiple fights in basketball. It's just you fight with your teammates, you fight with the opponent. It's just part of the game. This guy couldn't let it go. So we get to the room. I guess he was watching me from around the corner or something. And he gets me when I'm like walking out of the shower. He sucker punches me. And I end up getting a concussion, which it was my second concussion that year. So that, because I had one in high school a couple months prior to that. And what was crazy was nobody, there was no consequences. There was no team talk, and nobody cared. And that was my first taste of nobody gives a F. Yeah. Nobody cares, right? And so that kind of ruined my confidence, and it actually messed up with my college career, messed up part of my college career and some other things to go along with that. That's another story for another day. I got plenty of stories from college, but that showed me nobody cares. So my thing was like, if I can overcome this and help people that are facing their challenges, whether that's weight loss or whatever, that kind of shaped my why and what kind of led me into fitness. And that's where I found out I saw how fitness helped me, and I see how fitness can help other people. And it's a lot more stories like that kind of led me to be here and to be who I am today. So I hope that made a little sense.
Yeah, and that's very inspiring, brother. Very, very cool. Taking a tough situation that happened to you, making that lemon into lemonade and carrying it forward to help other people. That's beautiful, brother.
Absolutely.
So a minute ago you said, this is pretty, I want to hear about this. You said in high school, you're a top 100 player. Now, for people that don't understand, it's pretty self-explanatory. But if you don't know, that means he was one in his class in high school. He was in a group of 100 people in the country. That's a massive honor. So you were clearly a stud in high school. So talk to us a little bit about your high school. I guess the time of your life in high school. It must have been. If you were that good, it must have been pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've it's guys on TV now. I played against in high school, played with. Some of my teammates were fortunate enough to go in the NBA and win the NBA championships. I don't really talk about it a lot because that part of my life is over. But I traveled the country, was able to go to great schools because of basketball. Go to school for free. I was telling Keith how in middle school, I got a chance to go to probably the top school in DC, St. Albans. I went to school with the politicians' kids, right? And
wow.
And when I say politicians, I mean real deal politicians in DC. So I was fortunate enough to do that and get experience there. And it kind of just I became very cultured, and I had empathy for other people, and I could see things from a different lens. And so basketball was able to do a lot for me, and I'm fortunate that I was able to play. It kind of made me the man I am today, shape my discipline, shape my values, and shape how I see things. But I played on ESPN. I played in some legendary games, played on a legendary high school team. I played on #1 high school team in the country that year. I graduated. So I got a lot of basketball stories. A lot of people really don't know that about me. Like I said, I don't share it a lot. But I definitely really did that,
Yeah, hey, Marty,
cool, brother.
Marty, jumping in with you, Johnny. Where do you think you would be without basketball? So basketball has obviously been a very pivotal part of your life. And we got guys tuning in right now, and maybe some of these guys right now tuning into our show are wondering whether they want to continue, whether they want to get into D1, whether they don't want to make that choice or pursue further. Where do you think you would be, Christopher Martin, without basketball being the anchor for your life?
I don't think I'd be living out my purpose. I think basketball definitely led me to that, but I just be regular guy, good guy, still doing good things, great intentions, but not reaching and trying to help as many people as possible, and maybe not as what's the word I'm looking for? I guess as cultured or as experienced as I am.
Yes. It taught, so basketball has been the foundation to teach you a lot of things. I know you've referenced culture often, but when I look at you and Johnny, you guys, a couple athletes yourselves, talk about some of the discipline principles you learned in the gym with your coaches and some of the coaches you had. Again, those athletic principles that make you a great business guy today, right? You got your less brunches, more crunches, You've learned a lot of things from basketball that you put into practice today, just like when John was growing up in the gym and grinding it out in the gym. Those things you learned there today. Talk about some of those things you learned, Marty.
Yeah, so I guess I'll continue, some of the story. I learned that structure is everything. You got to have structure. So basketball forced me to have structure. So, and a situation like I just mentioned, not only did I have that happen, me being the youngest guy on the team, got the older guys busting my tail in practice every day. So I didn't get a lot of playing time. So I was, the coaches would be like, oh, yeah, you'll play next game. Next game. Be ready. Stay ready, Chris. Stay ready. And it forced me to stay ready. So I had to put up extra shots after practice. On game day, if I played 2 minutes or if I played 5 minutes, I stayed after and put shots up. And, I've shared this with Keith. We ended up getting in a situation where we played in a triple overtime game. All the seniors fouled out, and my number was called, and I ended up coming in and hitting the game winner. But that was because I kept that structure, and I stayed ready. There was an NBA player on the court, too, Jordan Clarkson. I believe he's still on the Utah Jazz. That was against his team. And so just to say that I did that against his team was pretty cool.
That's really cool.
So now and structure was everything even till this day. Structure, meal plan.
Yes.
Still going to the gym, and it kind of has kept my mental health right. So
check this out, Marty. You went through something that most D1 players go through. And even besides that, this applies to life in general, where, so in your case, you were a specialist, you were a PhD in basketball, and all of a sudden you don't make it to the pros and it's over. Your identity, you're a basketball player. You're a PhD, you're an expert. Talk to everybody about how you found that new you had to, because you had to recreate yourself. You had to find, let go of that old identity and adapt to a new one. And this is a massive topic for anybody going through a major change. How did you deal with that?
This is probably Keith's favorite part about me.
I love this story. I'm glad you asked that question, John. Yeah.
So I came out of school, and we're skipping a lot of steps. It's college was crazy. But I get out of school, I get an agent to play overseas. So, I'm working out every day. I'm in the gym, the basketball gym, working on my skill work, working on my conditioning. And, my mom was like, "Hey, you're grown. You gotta get a job." So I was going back and forth from the basketball gym to working the front desk at Gold's Gym, right? And so, I always lifted weights. I always liked lifting. But being in Gold's really, that forced me to learn more and just be in the culture, the gym culture. And so, I working front desk, I'm not making a lot of money, minimum wage. I'm spending my money going to different cities, going to different overseas combines to try to get a contract and working with different agents. And one day this agent was just like, "Yo, I'm doing a bad job. I didn't get you any overseas deals. I can't find anything." Honestly, I think the guy was just lazy because I was a good player. I had good highlights, good stats. And I after about 10 months, I said, "Forget this, man. I'm good. I'm good." Basketball was great to me. Kind of was sad how the chapter ended. I was in my feelings for a little bit, but I'm like, "Yo, life goes on. We got to keep it moving. What's next?" So there was a trainer at the gym who kept telling me, "Yo, you got to be a trainer." I kept telling him no. Mind you, I got old teammates coming to the gym, guys in the NBA, guys in college, guys playing overseas, old coaches, looking at me like I'm the biggest loser on the planet because I'm working the front desk. Like, girls I used to talk to coming in, they looking at me like, "You're working the front desk at Goals," so I explained that story at the beginning about the guy punching me in the face and nobody cared. I felt more crushed in that situation at the front desk than I did when the guy punched me in the face and nobody cared. That was probably the lowest point of my life at that time, the lowest. So I got that fire, I got that energy, I got that spark. Like, all right, let's prove all of them wrong. And so I switched my shifts at the gym to night shift. I worked from midnight to 6 a.m. and all I did was work out. I lifted every night and studied my personal trainer certification every night. Went to take the test, failed the first time. Same thing. Lift every night, study my certification, passed the second time. And then I started working out, posting my workouts. Then that led to a client. Started training my friends. Then I started training old teammates, family members. So I kind of built the business off the basketball network. Next thing you know, a lot of them guys that was looking at me crazy and a lot of them girls that was looking at me crazy, now they asking to train with me. Oh, I thought I was a loser. I thought I was corny. Oh, now you want to come get some training. Now you're trying to get some results. Oh, okay. All right. So it's just funny how the tables turn. So
went from loser to hero pretty quickly. And I just, when I met Marty and he told me that story, he said to himself, he told me, he's like, "I felt like a loser and people were calling me a loser." And it really struck me because, that word, John, was like a fire for him. When you hear Marty relate to that, and I know we're here to talk about Marty, but John, when you hear Marty's story, are there parts of it that you relate to as well?
100%, 100%. Because, especially in what I did, I navigated three different careers. So like with my wrestling in Japan, I didn't get renewed. It was like a form of like rejection, like, oh, yeah. Jesus. I went home and did a whole bunch of crazy around the house projects because I needed an outlet. And then I decided to go get my bodybuilder pro card. So I reinvented myself. But as soon as I made the choice, I'm going to get my pro card. Now I had something to pour all of, just like Marty's saying, you took that that feeling and said, okay, it's going here and it's going hard, and I don't care how difficult it is. And so I relate to that 100%. And I think that's the ticket, is the people that are trying to, reinvent themselves. They need to make a choice and go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Marty, there's somebody listening to you right now and listening to John's story now. And there's somebody listening at the show, your demo, our age group, and they're relating to what you're saying, Marty. They're going, yeah, that guy's over there making me feel pretty crappy. I'm not a loser. I'm not really that bad. Marty, what's the fire you're giving this person listening right now? What's the fire? What's the motivation? What's the word you're dropping for this human tuning in that's wondering what they need to do next? Is there a magic word? Is there a magic formula? What motivation would you give somebody right now to say, nah, man, you can do it?
Oh, absolutely. Now, you can get it done. If you can vision it, you can make it happen. And then you got to think too. Think about whoever your favorite success story is, or whoever your favorite successful person is. They have a story just like you, and it's probably a little more. It's probably rougher than yours, from where they started. So just know that usually when you're going through the fire, it's going to be sunshine. It's going to be something on the end of it that's better than the situation you're in now, right? So there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, that's a good segue, because we got Joe coming in here with a comment, Marty, which was you turned the negative into a positive. But then he also said, Mr. Fit says there's a lesson through everything. Just never give up, right? Yeah. And that's really the point of this show, guys. You're tuning in right now, and you're it's Thursday. It's August 1st. Like, holy smoke, summer is almost over. Don't give up, right? So if you're sitting back looking at your goals that you've maybe struggled to hit this year, John, we both know. You can always get started right now. And if you're looking to reinvent yourself like Marty did because you're feeling like a loser, I'll use the word, then get started. Do something about it. Right, Marty? Brother,
I just made a post yesterday, and it was basically saying, hey, are you still thinking about the stuff you want to do, or have you finally taken action? Don't if you've been thinking about something for years, okay, it's time to restructure how you go about what you're doing, because you should think about it and start pursuing it, And I love what Marty's saying. He took that that feeling in our stomach when we're feeling that way. People understand that's a blessing. That is a high-powered motor. You can take that energy and point it at something, and you can get so much done, because with that feeling in your stomach, you're willing to do what you were not willing to do when everything felt good.
Yeah. Marty.
Absolutely. Nah, and I was going to say, I feel empty when I don't have that fire, when I don't have something I'm working on or working towards. And so as I've gotten older, I know I'm younger than you all, but as I've gotten older, I'm learning, like, you always got to be evolving and working towards something.
Yeah. Marty, I got a question for you. So obviously this is the Business Athlete Show. We talk business, we talk athletics, and we all, the three hosts here, believe in those principles that to be a successful business person, you got to start your day in the gym, and to be a successful athlete, athletics is not going to be forever. Business is probably going to be a part of it. So we're weaving it together. But Marty, one thing that's always fascinated me about you, and we were talking branding yesterday and authenticity yesterday, and John, you and I were talking about it as well. But we got Christopher Martin. We have C Marty Fit. We have Marshall Mathers. We have Slim Shady. We have artists that weave in their names. They weave in caricatures. I've always been super impressed by your marketing abilities. Your less brunches, more crunches. The business brain on your shoulders. There's guys tuning in right now. They're looking to start their coaching business, their fitness business. John's had a great career doing that as well. But you're starting out, Marty. You've been in a couple of years now. Talk about Christopher Martin, talk about C Marty Fit, and the business decisions you make around those two brands and who each of them are. Is C Marty Fit Christopher Martin? Is Christopher Martin C Marty Fit? Talk about with us that a little bit, Chris.
Oh yeah, Chris Martin is definitely C Marty Fit, but the fitness allows me to express myself in a way where I can help people, but my way, because everybody, they receive messages differently, right? So the way I do it is pretty direct, and I like to use it with humor, with sometimes dark humor, but the people that receive it, it's a great message for them, because they don't know where they can hear it anywhere else like that. So I feel like the way I do it is a unique way, and it's needed. Now, a lot of people don't like the way I do it, and guess what? I'm fine with that. You can go watch someone else. You can go watch somewhere where they sugarcoat it and put sprinkles and frosting on it. That's not what you're going to get over here. And I've lost clients because of that, and that's okay. Perfectly fine with that too. You need to go to a trainer. You need to spend your money on a trainer who fits you. So, but the branding thing, I feel more like myself, and I feel like my message gets delivered even better when I'm doing it my way. So,
yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, brother. Check this out. Yesterday, I actually, knowing what we were going to be doing today, I just spent a little bit of time. I mean, I always check out on your Instagram. I was like, I need to look a little deeper and have some some interesting, some fun questions. So, what does when someone says, "Don't get booty fished," what does that mean?
So basically, are you familiar with the show Catfish?
No.
You know what that is? Okay, so catfish is when people go on dates. They go online to seek a partner or dating, and they end up seeing a picture of someone being attracted to them, and then they meet them in person, and it's not who they thought it was.
Yeah.
Like you try to meet some hot chick, you like, oh, she look good, then you go in person, and it's not a hot chick. I'm gonna keep it nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it clean. So when I say booty fish is when you have girls on Instagram who they edit their pictures. They have these apps where they edit these pictures to make their hips come out, make their waist go in, and make their butt look bigger. But then when you see them in person and their butt or their waist doesn't look like how it did on Instagram, it's like, oh, she's a booty fish. Does it make sense? A little more sense now?
Yeah, no, it's crazy because when I saw you explain it on your Instagram. I mean, you know that people tend to filter their stuff, but I'm thinking to myself, how do you put something up on your Instagram when someone sees your real person and clearly see the difference? I'm thinking to myself, holy smokes. I mean, granted, I'm the king of no filters. I'm coming straight at you, but I guess,
you'd be surprised, man. People do it a lot, and men do it too. Men do it too. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I love when I saw that post, it said, "Don't get booty fished." I was like, "Oh, I got to hear this one."
That was a good one.
I love it.
Hey, Marty, tell John and some of our new listeners that are, we're adding new listeners all the time. So some of you may have heard the stories in the past. I apologize, but I want John to hear this story. Marty, tell John how less brunches, more crunches was born. Again, we're a business athlete show, so business is as important as fitness and athletics. Tell John how that brand was born, how you shared it with me when you went for brunch, and you're like, hey. So let's get into that discussion, Marty.
Yeah, so I've always been like a sarcastic, playful guy. Like I would just rhyme words sometimes when I'm, telling jokes or joking with my teammates. And I would even just post stuff on my story, workouts, fitness related, and just make it rhyme. So I went to Soul Cycle one day, and there was in DC, they got a brunch spot like across the street from the Soul Cycle. So we went to Soul Cycle and went to brunch after. And I just wrote that on my page, less brunches, more crunches. And it went crazy, and people were asking about it. So, somebody suggested I put it on a shirt. So I paid like $20, got it on the shirt, wore it to the gym. Everyone was like, yo, what is that? I was like, I don't know. I just made it up. They're like, can I get a shirt? I said, sure. So here we are today, still selling shirts.
What's the message in that, Marty? What's the message in that?
Beautiful.
Yeah. The message is basically it's okay to have fun, enjoy yourself, indulge. You need to do it in moderation. You should be in the gym way more than you're doing that stuff. So if you go brunch on Sunday, you should be in the gym, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe take Friday off, go do something on Saturday. You should be in the gym way more each week than you are in brunch. But most people, they doing BS all week and barely hit the gym, struggle to hit the gym, but they don't struggle to hit the fun stuff. So that's been an issue with my clients. So that kind of led to me thinking about it as well.
What do you think the business lesson is, though, in that? Because that's what's fascinating to me is that, again, many people listening or want to get started, are thinking about getting started, don't know how to get started, but you just got started.
Just put your stuff out there, man. don't be scared. You know, I know, like, I look at the content I make now, like, I would be so nervous to post it because I'd be so worried about who am I going to offend, who's not going to like it. They're not going to like it. Somebody's not going to like it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you might as well just be yourself. If people not going to like it anyway, just be yourself. You know, it is what it is. Just like, you know, just like even if you're dating, a girl or a guy might not like you. Oh, well, it's going to be somebody that likes you. So just be yourself.
Yeah, that's well said, actually. That's well said. John, you've been in the clothing game too, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
What have you learned through that clothing, that merchandise experience?
Well, the whole principle, the whole motivation behind it was to give people kind of an inner mantra, you know, and it was basically, you know, no mental weakness, you know, it's all about, you know, no excuses. It was just this kind of this thing that you could kind of be a part of. You know, you put the shirt on. Okay, I'm not making excuses today. You know, you put the shirt on. I'm not going to be mentally weak today. So it was almost like just I'm a big one on, you know, these little phrases, these little simple things that, and even people that you surround yourself with are going to keep you pointed in the right direction. And sometimes, you know, you find it's like a kid. He puts on his Letterman jacket, you know, and he's a stud. He earned that, you know. Put on that shirt says F excuses. We're not making excuses today.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Marty, let's go back to college. Let's go back to, again, our audience is tuning in. They're making their way through college. They're finishing college. Do you ever reflect upon college as a bad experience? Or is it everything you were hoping it was going to be and it needed to be for you?
It's definitely not everything I hoped it would be. College was rough for me, man. Like I said, that might be a whole different podcast. You know, I went to 3 schools. So, you know, I'm not the type to run away from situations. I don't want to run away from situations, but, you know, sometimes in college sports, which a lot of people aren't aware about, coaches will force you out of a program. And, you know, it's not even that you're a bad player. It's not that you're a bad kid. Sometimes it's just they want to go a different direction, or maybe they think someone's better than you. That's not better than you. Or maybe, you know, I don't want to get too deep into it, but sometimes there's a reason why, you know, they might have a connection with this kid's high school coach or AAU coach, so they got to play this kid to keep that recruiting filter going, and you might be interrupting that. So it definitely wasn't everything I wanted it to be, but it definitely made me the man I am today, and if I had to do it again, I'd go through the same thing again. Well,
that's interesting to hear you say that, Johnny.
Yeah, you know, because what you're saying, bro, I think that people that have never really played high level athletics in whatever venue it is, that requires a coach, right? The chemistry you have with your coach can make a big difference in an athlete's performance. There's no question about that. And sometimes that tough love works, and sometimes that tough love doesn't. I've been on both sides of that fence, you know. Yeah. So, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, brother. But for the people that maybe don't get it, it's, you know, a player and his coach. That's a unique relationship.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Marty, too, that, you know, listening to you speak, you really had to take your situation into control, didn't you? Because if you didn't, nobody else was going to. And I think there's a lesson in that, right? We as athletes, or even employees in business, I think we get caught up in thinking somebody else is taking care of us until somebody doesn't, and then we're surprised, right? We're like, oh, I thought you had my best interests at hand. Yep. And then that naivety sets in, right? And it's, John, I saw you nodding. It's like you maybe have gone through that experience as well. But Marty, you really had to, as an athlete on a team, you still have to take control of your own journey. Offer some advice to people tuning in right now that might not know what I'm talking about with that, and how you need to complete, you know, how to have control of your own journey. See, Marty.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You have to, before you complain about your situation, identify your role. We all have a role, whether that's the team, whether that's business, the relationship. We all have a role. You got to identify your role, and you have to play your role to the best of your ability. You need to squeeze every ounce out of that role. And something good is going to come out of that eventually. Right? You're going to get the reward at some point. But just sulking, complaining about it, being depressed, sitting in it, you know, talk to people if you have to, you know, share with a family member, you know, loved one, friends, you know, talk it out if you need to, but you really have to take control and you know, take over that role, right? You got to dominate that role pretty much. And so that's what I had to do. And
John, you know, I love that because basically what you're saying, it's clearly in your situation, you know, your basketball life, but literally this piece of advice goes anywhere. And what he's saying is, it doesn't matter what your role is. Maybe it's emptying the trash cans. If you do it all the way, it's going to create some more opportunities for you, number one, but it's going to make you feel better about what you're doing. You're totally committed. When you do something and you're going through it halfway, you don't feel good about yourself and you don't create more opportunities. Maybe the role you're in right now is not the one you want, but you'll get to a better role if you commit all the way.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Joe's Poppy, this is a great conversation, Joe. I agree. And I want to lean into the role part, you know, and I know, again, I know we're here to talk Marty, but Marty dropped something which I think weaves back even to John, because, and again, there's guys listening that are either on teams or either, you know, pursuing individual sports or are trying to work their way into business. And Marty, you talked about the power of a role, know your role. Well, John, same thing for you too, right? In the wrestling ring, there are times when it's like, no, this is your role, man. Your role is to put this guy over, or your role is to be the heel, or your role is to be the face. Gentlemen, let's keep this dialogue rolling on knowing your role, because that's a lot of guys with egos. That doesn't always work, does it? So, John, play off Marty's comments about knowing your role.
Yeah, you know, well, first off, when you understand what you're supposed to do, if you understand the guidelines, it makes it much easier to get in there and do a great job. But there's you know, it's like the alphabet. Each letter serves a different purpose. And you need people that are really good A's and really good B's. And so you got to understand your role so you can really, really, especially in a team sport, you've got to own that role so you can contribute to the team. And I guess the thing that I fall back to is if you're not committing, if you're not giving your all, nothing good is going to happen from that. So you really only have one chance. Once you understand your role, do it the best of your ability. And if you don't like that role will get better, but it's not getting better if you're not committing.
Yeah, very much so. Marty, want to play on that?
Yeah, definitely. I guess I can just get a little specific, you know, not trying to talk basketball too much because I know everybody didn't play and everybody might not understand. But I know my role was to play defense and hit open shots. Can I do more than that? Absolutely, I can do more than that. But for whatever reason, at the second school I went to, my role was to hit open shots and play defense. So I did that to the best of my ability because I was the scapegoat for every loss somehow. I don't know how, but I know, one, I don't have to hear the coach's mouth if I do what I need to do. And so I kept doing my role, made sure I would stay after practice, push shots up. And what's crazy is I was in a situation where I had people playing over me that I clearly was better than. But what happened was, you know, we go to Brooklyn and we play, you know, I was at a small school, Mount St. Mary's. We playing LIU, Long Island University, Brooklyn. For whatever reason, we played in the Barclays Center. You know, that's where the Brooklyn Nets play. So I don't know why we had a game there, but I'm like, this is probably my only chance ever playing in Barclays. You know, we're down 20 at halftime. We're getting smoked. And coach just kind of gave up. And for whatever reason, you know, he just left me out there. And, you know, me playing my role, he kind of just let me say F the plays, and I did my thing, ended up scoring like 22, and we ended up coming back and winning the game. But even though that was rare, you know, just the fact that I've been playing my role, he can't say ish to me because I've been playing my role. You know, I was able to really show my efforts and my talents, if that makes sense. Absolutely. So playing your role is always going to pay off.
Yeah. We got Enzo popping in here with the question saying, can you expand on roles and leadership in the sporting team aspect, even examples of your roles throughout your career? And I think you leaned into that a little bit, Marty, which was just, you know, every time you've kind of gone through a chapter, you've recognized what you've needed to do, you've put the work in, and you moved forward. right? So, yes,
Absolutely.
you have been absolutely reading Marty's mind.
Yeah.
What else we got here from the comments here? Listen, Nation, you're tuning into the morning show. Keith, Marty Fit, John Anderson, coming into our second half of the show here. Listen, I invite you to subscribe to the show. So if you're tuning into us on any of our other channels, I invite you to bring it back to Mornings in the Lab. Subscribe to the show, share it, like it, tell your friends all about it. If you need some help getting up in the morning, we drop every single morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time across all of the platforms, and we're only getting bigger and better every single day.
Yes, sir.
Right now we are getting to know Christopher Martin, aka C Marty Fit. So, Marty, what's one thing that I don't know, Anderson doesn't know, Nation doesn't know about you that you've been wanting to share with all of us? You've just been finding the window to share it. A little surprise for you to throw on the table right now. Is there one thing that you're like, I got to tell these guys this thing here that they don't know about me right now?
So, you heard my story. I'm like an underdog. I'm a big Batman fan. Like, obsession. Like, I got tattoos and all that. Like, nice. I'm big on Bruce Wayne, and we can argue about superheroes and who's the best superhero. All right, you're not going to beat me on this one, okay?
Let's dig into it. So, Johnny, are you a superhero guy? Did you grow up with any of the like? Are you a Batman guy, Spider-Man guy, or are you any of the superhero world there, Johnny?
I'm not like obsessed with it, but I think when it comes down to it, anybody that's watched these, has a hard time arguing that Superman is not the biggest and the baddest of the group. So I'm definitely curious to hear Marty defend himself against Superman. I'm
curious too, actually.
Oh yeah. Look, Keith, since we talked about you this week, hypothetically, you could have sold ICUC and became Batman. And he's the only superhero that you can be. That I can be, that John can be. You could have bought some equipment.
Right, actually. Right. Well,
you probably could have got a Batmobile made instead of getting the Jeep. Yeah. Instead of getting the Jeep, could have got you a Batmobile. And you could have been rocking and rolling. Could have started in Winnipeg, moved to Toronto, and then made your way to New York City. But you decided not to do that.
That's right. That's why I'm convinced Elon Musk is a superhero, right? Or when you have that kind of wealth, right? You just you can buy whatever you want. But on the Batman side of things, so Batman versus Superman, Marty, who's winning?
I mean, we saw the movie.
Well, that's
Batman can hang with Superman. Let's not get it twisted. We saw the movie. Okay.
But I gotta say, Marty, when you come at it from that perspective, that Batman has a barrier of entry that could actually be semi-believable that somebody, mere mortals could actually take on that role. I can see where you're coming with that one. But if we're just talking straight superheroes, Superman can fly without doing this thing. Batman's got to do this thing, shoot out a web and swing. Superman just goes boom and he's gone.
But Batman can still fly.
Well, you summed it up. You summed it up a second ago. You said Batman can hang with Superman. Whoever's the best doesn't hang with anybody else.
We're talking superheroes this morning on the show here with Keith and Marty and John Anderson. We're talking superheroes. We're talking Christopher Martin. And I think at this point of the show, Marty, we're going to pivot here in a moment to the C Marty Fit tip of the day before we wrap up to the last segment of the show here. So John and I can go for peas here as we broke the seal 75 minutes ago. But Enzo pops in with Marty. I've always been the underdog. My phone's response, he goes, time for a break notification. I thought you left the show. There was just silence. My phone was on charge. And then Enzo says, but does Superman have a bat cave? Yeah, well, that's nope. That's the question. That is the question. Talking superheroes, Mornings in the Lab, Keith C Marty Fit and Christopher Martin, as we're getting to know the irreplaceable Christopher Martin. So Marty, shall we jump into the C Fit tip of the day here, Jimmy? Let's get into that point in the show here so Johnny and I can do a little pee break. So let's do this. We're going to go this here. We're going to go boom. That's it. Marty, you're up, pal.
Let's get it. All right, we got the fit tip for today. Let's get into it. You might be missing out on gains because you're not connecting mentally with your muscles. The mind-muscle connection is the practice of consciously engaging specific muscles during exercise. It's crucial because it maximizes muscle activation, ensuring you're not just lifting weights but working the right muscles effectively. Why is this important? When you're mindful of this connection, you improve your form and increase the efficiency of each rep, leading to better strength and muscle growth. And that's actually an issue with a lot of my clients. They're just going through the motion and don't know what muscle they're targeting. So this is big. Here's how to do it. Focus on the target muscle with each exercise. Slow down your movements to maintain control. Visualize the muscle working through the rep. This technique enhances workout quality, leading to faster progress and better results. Don't just lift with purpose. That's the fitness tip for today.
There you go. The fit tip of the day with C Marty Fit. Always bringing you stuff to help you get your day rocking and rolling. That's what we do here on the show. John Anderson is offering.
Oh, he's out of there.
He's just joining us.
Strike three, you're out.
The timing is great because Enzo pops in with this. Then this is why I'm thinking the show's working so great, because Enzo's like, oh, great. I'm not looking forward to life in 15 years or 35 years because, yes, the old guys need to go to the bathroom break every 15 minutes. But telling you, man, me and John are presenting the future to you guys. So you're tuning in, and we know who our audience is, boys. We are presenting you the future. You eat your Wheaties, you drink your water, you had your creatine, you get your protein. You look like Keith, you look like John, and you go for a pee all the time. So we're going to wrap up the last segment to get to Chris from Martin C Marty Fit. Marty, I got a couple of questions for you. Last one to wrap them up here. So what scares Chris from Martin? What keeps you up at bed at night? What creates anxiety for you?
Ooh, good question.
I'd probably say I feel like everything that I go through, all the hard work, obstacles, connections, meeting people, ideas, I don't ever want that to go to waste. I don't ever want to go through that for no reason. Like, I feel like every person I meet serves a purpose in my life. Every obstacle serves a purpose in my life. I just want that to make even more sense one day. Like, what I've been through already makes sense. And why I've gone through it, how it's helped me, how it's shaped me into the man today, and that's probably it. You know, I don't want to be wasting time because you can't get time back.
I don't want to be wasting time because you can't get time back.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. Yeah, 100%. When you look to the future in 10 years, I know you're a future looking guy. When you look to the future in 10 years, what is 41-year-old C Marty Fit looking like? What's surrounding
41-year-old C Marty Fit. Hopefully married, 2 kids, on the internet, fixing the problems in the fitness industry and going on rants and reacting to videos and giving out fitness advice and just continuously helping people. And BAPL is killing the game. We're helping people. We're turning people into business athletes. We're getting business owners and employees to work out and better their lifestyles, and we're getting them to better their business as well.
That's it. Well said, my friend. I like that a lot. Johnny.
Yo.
10 years.
10 years.
Oh, that's you're throwing that one at me too. Okay,
yeah.
I like it. 10 years. Well, goodness, I'm gonna be 62. And I'm still going to be a badass SOB. And by then I should have some more grandchildren, which I'm really excited about.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But most importantly, the thing that I want the audience to understand is the way I live my life today, I'll still be living my life the same in 10 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which means I'll be still developing mentally, physically, spiritually. The game never stops. So 10 years, 20 years, I'm going to live my life the way that I believe is the best way for me to live my life, be happy and fulfilled and successful until one day when I don't wake up.
There you go.
You want to know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Not to cut you off. Somebody asked me if I ever stop becoming a full-time trainer, will I continue to work out? I was like, what? What kind of question is that?
Yeah.
Of course. I'm still be doing the same thing.
Well, so I saw Schwartz was recently asked the question, are you gonna keep training for the next 10 years? He's like, his answer was, I'm still gonna be breathing for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's and I think that's why I love this show, gentlemen, because when I look at the next 10 years, we got 10 years of shows ahead of us. My hope and my goal is that we're going to have a generation of business athletes growing up with us.
Yep.
Right? We're going to have a generation of business athletes having children, celebrating weddings, celebrating grandchildren. We're going to watch Enzo grow into a 50-year-old man peeing every 15 minutes. We're gonna watch Enzo starting his mornings in the show lab for a show over there in New Zealand. So that so when we're talking about the show, that's what we think about, and I'm sharing this with you guys because that's what we're digging in to do here. So if you're tuning into the show wondering who the hell we are, we're just getting started. We got the biggest and best, the only morning show here in North America that starts at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Tune in for positive information, accountable information, conversations around business, athletics, getting to know the hosts like C Marty Fit, John Anderson, and myself, Mark Wahlberg. And and we invite you guys to tune in every single day, Monday to Friday. And you're right, Enzo. Yes, this is only the beginning. And I like this too, because I want to put this up here because Marty and John, I know you guys hang with this a lot. And Marty, I want to come back to you as we wrap it up and then we'll throw it to John. Stick by your purpose. Find your why and stick to it. Marty, lean on Enzo's comments about finding your why.
Yeah, you got to find your why. You're either in a storm or a storm is on the way. And when that storm hits, it's easy to lose yourself. It's easy to go to vices, distractions. It's easy to just be super negative. But if you have a why, you're going to understand, hey, I got to work through this. I got to get to this purpose. I got to help this person. I got to hit this milestone. I got to get here. I got to make God happy or whoever you believe in. So if you have a why, you can get through those storms. Things are going to get better, and you're not just out here with no purpose, no reason, no motion, just like an NPC. I don't know if you know what an NPC is, non-playable character. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You don't want to be that.
I like that. Johnny, play on that. Play on the why. Let's end the show strong on this because this is great, man. Marty's giving our listeners on you got to find your why. Johnny, let's play on that, pal.
Well, I think I love this because it's like people live their lives without a why. Yeah, it goes back to they're planning to retire from something they did for 40 years. That having a why means that you find something that you're passionate about, that you want to do. And when you have that, you never really want to stop it. So like that guy that said, are you going to still train when you're not a personal trainer? Well, this is something that's a part of you. And when you have a why and you live a certain way, it becomes a part of you. You enjoy what you're doing. And, the whole thing turns into you be very successful, but you also enjoy what you're doing. And yes. I think that the why is what's missing in our general population.
Well, and I'm actually glad we're leaning into this for a couple minutes because here's really where, gentlemen, our generations shine really, quite well. Because Marty, there's a large percentage of our audience that is your demographic, 25 to 40 years old, and you guys are all growing up trying to figure your stuff out. I can't encourage you enough, as Marty has said. Know your why, gentlemen, because those next 10, 15, 20 years are going to be so much more enjoyable. And if the why, because here's something else, guys, I'm going to rant for a second. It's a positive rant. I know, John, we're about positivity on the show. If your why is about, I want to go make the most cash possible, good. Because you know what? Too often people are like, oh, I don't want to say that because I should be changing the world. I should be going and becoming an environmentalist. I should be doing all these things to make people feel good about themselves. You know what? Go and make lots of cash. As we started the week, exactly. When I started the week, we talked about my story. What got me out of bed every single day, guys, was how much zeros I can put in my bank account. And I was not, and I'm not embarrassed to say that, because entrepreneurs, you guys don't talk about that enough. So if the why is to go and fill your bank account with cash so that you can go and change the world, be honest about it. Be honest about it. Find your why, because that is an important thing to do. It is going to help you get through the day. And John, I know when we look to our peers, our 35 or 30-year-old peers, we're saying, guys, if you find your why, man, the rest, those next 15, 20 years are magic, aren't they, John?
Yes. And if you don't know your why, don't be afraid to try to find it. It's a discovery process.
Yes.
You know, you're going to stumble across, oh, holy smokes, you know, this, whatever this is, this thing really struck a chord in me. And you're going to know because you find yourself thinking about it. You'll find yourself going back to it mentally. Okay, well, maybe there's some gravitational pull to whatever this is. You know, just start looking for things that you want to do, things that are constantly pulling you in. Learn to monetize that. Bam, you've changed your life.
And we started talking about Christopher Martin. And we started about Christopher Martin saying, okay, I'm an athlete. Yep. Still up at the gym one day. And the guy's like, no, you're a loser because you're in the gym now. Marty's like, well, no, hell with that. Marty found his why.
Yes.
And his why was like, I'm not going to be a loser. I'm not going to be a failure. I'm the underdog, but my why is I'm better than that. Right. So that's what I love about you, Marty, is that you took that energy, you took that negative energy being thrown at you, and you basically stuck your finger up in the air and you said, to hell with all of you. I'm going to go and here's my why, and I'm going after it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So good on you, pal. Some comments coming from the lab here to wrap it up. Spread good energy. Yeah, thank you. That's our goal here, is to provide some good messaging. And Joe, appreciate you tuning in, pal. Good show and good message. And of course, Enzo's popping in with a good reminder for your older fellas. 10 years from now, you guys, Enzo, get the hell out of here, man. We don't talk pension on the show here, Enzo. No, you've crossed the line this morning, Enzo. And spread good energy is, of course, wrapping it up with a great show. I appreciate those comments. Marty, Johnny and I threw some questions at you. Going to give you the final word today. How do we want to wrap up the Christopher Martin story today, pal?
First of all, y'all heard like 10% of the story. It gets crazy. But I hope what I did share, I hope you can learn some lessons from it. But just keep going. Be positive. Keep going. Be yourself unapologetically.
Yes.
Be authentic. And don't worry about who doesn't love you. Focus on the people that love you. And most of all, love yourself. Have the confidence in yourself. You know, I had a 2-minute pep talk with myself in the mirror yesterday because I had to hype myself up for my podcast because I was tired. I didn't feel like doing it. So do what you got to do to be positive and keep yourself going and stay productive.
Oh, I like that. I like that, man. I appreciate that vulnerability. Yeah. Christopher Martin, C Marty Fit, man, really appreciate continuing to get into new. And Nation, we're just getting started. So we're going to keep doing these shows as the weeks and the months go by, because I know some of you are new, some of you are old, and you guys keep tuning in. So we're going to keep giving you more Keith, going to keep giving you more Marty, going to keep giving you more John Anderson. So gentlemen, as we go on to our day, looking at you, Marty, what do you got going on today, pal?
I think I'm going to get this workout in now, and then that's it. Oh, I'm working on the lab today. I got some stuff delivered.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Tomorrow might be my last day in this setup.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. Looking forward to that. Johnny Anderson, what do you got going on today, pal? You had your back workout today. I know you crushed a little bit of cardio yesterday. What do you got going on today, buddy?
Yeah, yesterday was a nasty back workout. Today is a day off in terms of lifting weights. So I'm gonna go for a walk around the lake. Then when my wife gets up, we're gonna go for that paddle board that we didn't make it to yesterday.
Yes,
at 10 a.m. And I'm just
I can't wait to see that.
Enjoying life, enjoying changing people's lives. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful life.
That's exceptional. Enzo, thanks for joining us here this morning. I appreciate it. Yes, 1:30 a.m. Enzo, you are a stellar human being, my friend. Your keyboard is wonky. We'll see you tomorrow, my friend, from the future. Always love having you out here on the show. I appreciate that. And, of course, Mr. Fitz for all sports, similar stories. Thanks for the motivation, brother. I hope you have yourself a great day, Mr. Fitz. Hope you have yourself a great lift. Myself, boys, I got my lift in before the show. I'm going to go do an endurance ride for some cardio. I'm going to go knock off, I'm thinking maybe 40 kilometers or so, just to get that. And, you know, guys, I love endurance because for me it's mind, right? Because if I got to sit and do something I hate for 60, 75, 90 minutes, it's like business. There's things you got to do in business you hate. And the way that I train myself to enjoy the things in business is doing things that I hate in the gym. So that's my day, guys. I'm looking forward to continuing these great conversations tomorrow. We got a guest tomorrow, guys. We got a guest on the show. We're going to talk some fitness. We're going to talk accountability. We're going to talk goals tomorrow morning. Mornings in the lab, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on X, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, all over the place. Come find myself. Come find John Anderson. Come find C Marty Fit. Boys, have a good one, eh?
You too.
We'll see you later, guys.